So let's talk New Year's resolutions. Are you doing them?
I usually don't do New Year's resolutions.
Ever?
Because, I mean, I would love to make some fabulous New Year resolution, but mostly my stuff is, like, I just try to reevaluate what happened in the year that we just left and say, okay, here's what I want to do differently. Here's how I want to move forward. Here's what I'm thinking. Because I this morning, when you came into my office, I had my little calendar thing open, and I write in the front of my calendar and my little to-do list. I know you always laugh at me about that, but I write in the front of it, like, what I'm doing this year. This year's going to be fabulous. This year, my kids are going to be amazing.
Oh, yeah, those are affirmations. Manifest. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Things. I just laugh. No, I'm laughing because I have probably spent upwards of, I don't know, over my lifetime, I'd say no less than $5,000 on planners, calendars, with the intention. One time I got one of those really cool tool, whatever ones with the disc and all the stuff and the matchy little pins. Girl, I used it for like 2 days.
See, I
forgot to reference it, overscheduled something. I just threw the whole thing away. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I just wing it because I have files in my brain. Okay, so I spent all that money on all these planners all the time, including that real expensive one. And then I realized that, I could just put it in my phone. So I put stuff in my phone. Well, I don't look at that either.
I know, girl.
We know.
I know.
So then I had people at the office start setting reminders for things I need to do. And then they remind.
I do that for you. I hear you. I hear you say, that's fine, we'll do it. We'll be there. And then I'm texting you going, wait.
We got to check our calendar.
Because I live and die by my calendar. I live and die by my
calendar.
Like, I don't even feel like I didn't feel like I could make my plans for the first week of January until I had it in my calendar. That's what I was doing this morning. I use mine. Drinks.
I'll be there. Wait, you have to do this. Well, I figure it out. I always figure it out. I wing it.
Do you think I don't know that about you?
Yes.
I know. Do you think I don't know that
has
about
grand ideas. But for me, it's so funny because over the years, every year, I remember the one resolution I always really tried to do was, I'm the oldest. I have 2 younger sisters, and the 2 young ones might be perceived as sweeter. I'm actually a really nice person, but every year it's like, I'm going to be more like Danielle and Brooke this year and be sweet. I lasted about 3 days.
You're going to be Shayna.
And I think that's what I've realized now is I'm going to be Shayna. I've done the gym thing, never go.
I tell my kids that I don't know how to be anybody but Lori.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I do. I get my calendar out, but I always, I do that. I set my reminders in my phone, but I also have to touch it and feel it. So I have to see it. So that's the first thing I do in the morning when I get to work is I check my calendar, see what all of my stuff for the day, for the week is. I do that too,
but I just close my eyes and I can see it in my brain.
I can't do that. I can't. And I say that you can do that, but how many times do you say, yeah, we can have lunch, and then you're like, oh my God, I totally forgot we've got to do this at lunch. No, there's only one of us. We can't do 14 different things at lunch. So that's why I don't want to be the person that says, yeah, I can do it, and then I can't do it because I've got 14 other things. But that's okay because
very, very organized.
That's why we work well together because it takes all kinds to make the world go round.
It really does.
Because we can balance each other out. You can be the spontaneous one that jumps up like you've been shot and runs out of the room.
Oh, like I did not long ago when I got that special delivery at Christmas of my favorite Chicago caramel cheese popcorn.
I think the nurses ate it all.
I think they did too.
Yesterday, so we're going to have to order some of our
Bobby from UPS came in, and I saw that box. I was like, oh my gosh.
I know. I even said, who was that addressed to? Because I deal with the accountant every day. Who was that addressed to?
Best popcorn.
And half the can was gone. Because I
wear medical gloves, though, so your fingers don't get sticky and cheesy.
It has been a really great year at Style. I know it's been really fun for us doing our little podcast
I love it.
Had a great time.
I really like my microphone.
I know. It's Style's 20 years. I can't believe they've been around. I remember when Kendra and Doug were just talking about this magazine, and now it's been 20 years. I can't believe it's
amazingly successful too. It's it's one of those things that everybody recognizes the magazine. They love going through it to see who's been where, at what event, what they're talking about, everything. Yes.
Great covers.
Yeah, great covers.
But yeah, so we're going to pull Kendra in today, and we're going to get her to talk to us. Kendra is one of the owners and publishers of the magazine, and we're going to get her to come in and talk to us in just a few minutes.
And one of our favorite people.
We love her.
We do.
Welcome to the Style Podcast. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Lake Center Home Care and Disability Consultants. We are very excited about our podcast today because we have Kendra Akers joining us. Thank you for joining us, Kendra.
I love you.
I can't believe
Thank you for having me.
I can't believe we're talking about the 20th anniversary because I remember when this. You probably don't even remember this. It was years ago when you were in a civic organization with me, and you were talking to me at lunch one day about you have this great idea. You were going to do this magazine, and nothing had started yet, but you were thinking about how to get it going. And I'm like, that's cool. And now we're sitting on the other side, 20 years on the other side of it.
Altrusa?
It was Altrusa.
Oh, I do remember.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Altrusa.
I know. But how in the world has it been 20 years?
I don't know. Oh my gosh, it's true when they say if you're having, time flies when you're having fun, because I think back to how young my daughter was at the time. She was like 8 years old. So
My namesake.
yes, your namesake, Shayna. And it's incredible. And time has just flown by, and we've had a blast doing it.
It's crazy to me because I can remember over the years, and that's how you and I've actually become so close, is doing all the stuff we do, and we just clicked. But watching the magazine and the changes in the types of covers and the articles and everything, and it's amazing. It's doing amazing. I can't wait to see what else it does too. I love that you've added podcast, you've got the online component, everything. It's
Well, that's
amazing.
probably the biggest thing when you talk about 20 years. When the concept for Style here in Lake and Sumter County originated, it was to produce a fantastic magazine that, showcased my passion and my love for this community and how amazing it is. I had no idea 20 years ago it would grow into now being the primary media for Lake and Sumter County. I mean, it's not just a magazine. We say that all the time. It's a lifestyle. And what that means is, now we have integrated the podcast. We have integrated the news. And when we really cover the news, we don't cover the shootings and the negative news, unless we will, and we'll cover it if it impacts the community as a whole, but not, the everyday things. But the important things that people need to know about what's going on in the community, who the leaders are, what the decisions are being made, the local sports, because that was something that we kind of inherited, and who else would do it? And
in all honesty, that's a really cool component too, because so many parents want to see, their children's successes highlighted. And I loved it during the football season. I loved being able to see the scores of all the different, my kids have gone to First Academy, and a lot of times First Academy just kind of always but with you, it was covered and it was paid attention to, and it brought, it's good for the kids, it's good for the families.
Makes people pick up the
Right.
magazine.
Also, I wouldn't have known about the sinkhole in Claremont that happened. I mean,
Right?
because you guys are on my feed on Facebook, so I'll see the latest kid getting a scholarship or whatever. What's going on. The new Chick-fil-A, that was huge.
And
Yeah,
what better
exactly.
way for people in the community to pick up a magazine or to watch something or listen to something if you're going to talk about their kid or grandkid? That's a great way.
Well, and all of that happened organically. I mean, that wasn't our plan. That wasn't my plan 20 years ago to ever become the local news, but it happened organically. Style has just become I think it really started heavily in COVID. We had daily writers that would put stories up on the website, but during COVID, we really focused on getting the information out there, because there wasn't really another media that was taking that on in Lake and Sumter County.
Yeah.
Orlando, yes. Tampa, yes. But not in our area. And the information that needed to come out was valuable to our residents. So we really took that step by step, informed the community, let them know what was going on, where to go, what to do. And then it snowballed after that. So, and the local newspapers had pulled back on covering the local sports, and that broke my heart. Raising kids, I know how important it was for, especially when we were growing up. If
Open
somebody
up
was
that paper
right,
and see somebody
Yeah.
you knew. Your
Well, and
kid.
if they weren't
I made the
covering
cover
it,
of the sports
Yeah.
section.
the thing is because Orlando, I know that's we're part of their news market, but they're not going to cover. They just never have covered Lake and Sumter unless it was like a really big deal.
Yeah. they haven't covered it like it's their community.
No.
Right.
Right.
And that's what Style does. Is Style embrace that. We didn't have the infrastructure for it, so we just kind of put it together quickly and started covering the local sports. Luckily, we at that point in time, Kyle had entered our company, and Kyle is our sports podcast host, and he had a big sports background and hosting podcasts and all of that, so he was very in tune to it. He hit the ground running, and we had people calling us and parents calling us just in tears, thanking us for giving their child coverage. And really, that's when you know you're on the right track, because you're fulfilling a need that the community has. And that's why 20 years ago, I wanted to do this. I just had no idea where it would end up, or not end up, we're not at the end, but where we would be today.
And the different technology is amazing
Yes.
to watch and see you on all the different formats.
Yes.
But
And how far you guys have come with the technology through even the way the covers of the magazines look now compared to when you
for
started
sure,
off.
Yeah.
But it's still cool to have. I still love the print magazine, and I love that. So many. I feel like you watch them get thinner over time, or yours hasn't.
No.
If anything, it's gotten thicker. It has just as much popularity.
I like to touch it and feel it. I know a lot of people like to read things online, but I'm still old-fashioned about that. I like to read a book.
A lot of people
I like
are.
to touch it.
Yeah.
I like to see it. I like to, when I'm out going into a restaurant and one of the kiosks that you have are sitting as you're going in, I grab one so that I can flip through it and look at everything. That's what I like, because I like the whole being able to touch the magazine and touch the book and feel it and read it. And
Listen, we would love it if we could go all digital, because then we wouldn't have to pay a print bill.
expense,
But
right.
we always say, people always tell us every month, hey, I saw the online edition, can't wait to get my copy.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
no matter what has happened nationally with magazines, local publications still serve a purpose.
We got pictures. I had so many friends when we did the cover of the Healthy Living, wasn't it? I would get text messages where they were holding it up, where
Yep.
they had found it somewhere and how cool it was, and they were grabbing extra copies, and it was fun. It was really cool to have that. And we framed a couple of them.
yeah, we did.
Even with the sports, we started all that digitally. We started it on the website. We started it with the podcast. And when we would do a story on the website for, a sports, an athlete, their parents would say, hey, when's it coming out in the magazine? It was great that it was on the website, but it wasn't complete until it was in print.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's when we decided, probably about a year and a half ago, to start adding the athletes into our Sports Hub section of the magazine. So now you can hear them on the podcast and learn about them. You can read about them on the website. And then now also we feature them in the magazine. So we kind of roll with the punches and go with what the needs are and what makes
Find a need, fill the need, keep
right.
moving.
Right.
That's going to keep Style evolving. It's going to keep it current. It's going to keep it in the front of everybody's mind, and they're going to know that you're moving forward and giving everybody what they want.
Yeah. I always think, could you imagine, this area without Style?
What about 2025? What does that look like for you as the owner, publisher, your vision?
Well, every year we always kind of get together and we think, how can we make it better than the last year? And somehow we always seem to do that. So that's always, a fun planning process. As far as the magazine goes, we have some new editorial features that I'm excited about. We've had, in January, we launch I think it's going to be our 4th or 5th year of doing our 40 under 40. And that is just highlighting the, new up-and-comers, the new leaders of the community. And every single time that we have published that, people always say, oh my gosh, I just hit 41. I wish I could have done it.
I told you that. We need to do a 50 under 50. And I don't have much longer to be 50 under 50.
Well, we decided that coming this year, and I believe it's going to be in July, we're going to do a 40 over 40.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I know. Duh. I mean, how did we not think about it before? I mean, every single time the magazine comes out, people are, wish I was 40. When are you going to do a 50 over 50? Like you
Yeah.
said. Well, 50 pages is a lot, but we could do 40 over 40.
I actually really love that.
Yep.
Really, because you're not focusing necessarily on a specific age over 40. You're
Right.
just saying, hey.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's going to be an exciting change or an addition. And then, and one thing that we have done with this year's 40 under 40 is we have added the opportunity for businesses to sponsor. Many people don't know that Style Magazine is completely paid for by advertising and sponsorships, and it's complimentary to readers. When you're out in the restaurants and you see it sitting there, somebody paid for that, and that is our advertisers. So if our advertisers are listening, thank you very much. We appreciate you. So we have added that addition, and our first year offering that, we actually have Gator Harley, who sponsored the 40 under 40 for January, and it's going to be amazing. So just envision what it would look like to have Gator Harley, sponsor that and have the theme be that. So I'm not going to say any more than that because it's a surprise.
That's a good teaser. I love it.
We like teasers.
Well, we're going to take just a quick break. We'll be back in just a few moments with Kendra Akers. But first, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Lake Center Home Care and Disability Consultants.
Get all the Social Security disability benefits you deserve with disability consultants Chris Bell and Jeff Bell. Our experienced Florida certified ADR handle claims on a contingency fee basis, meaning you don't pay unless we recover money for you. We have established a strong reputation as a firm that cares and provides the best care to its clients. Call us today or visit cbell.com.
Welcome back to the Style Podcast. Kendra Akers is joining us today, and we've been talking about all the great things that Style has done over the last 20 years. What do you think your favorite article, your favorite topic that you guys have talked about in Style Magazine has been?
A lot. There's been a lot.
There's been a lot.
So many great ones.
I get that question sometimes, and I have not yet been able to surpass the one that we did in 2012 with human trafficking, just because it was so impactful. And at that point in time, there was no mention of human trafficking anywhere. And Style Magazine is a magazine that highlights the good parts of Lake and Sumter, at least at that time, before we really started diving into deeper issues. And, as a publisher of a publication that has such a good following, such a far reach, I had learned that human trafficking that Lake and Sumter County had the number, like Central Florida was number 2 in the nation for human trafficking cases in 2012. And when I heard that, I had known a little bit about human trafficking, but that just blew me away. And the more I looked into it, I felt obligated to really bring that to light. And at the time, I brought it to my team, and they, our goal was to always highlight the best things about Lake and Sumter County, and they were absolutely not. We're not going to do that. We shouldn't do that. And I said, but we have to. It's our responsibility because we are a publication for our residents, and people's children are at risk. It's awareness. They need to know what's happening in our community.
Right.
So I will never forget, we put our daughter Aubrey on the cover of that issue. And when we were doing the photo shoot, I literally I teared up because it was so...
Makes me tear up. It does because
Well, you see
I
your
have a
daughter in
20-year-old daughter.
shackles
Right.
and,
Yes,
and everything
yeah.
else, and you just can envision what people literally are going through.
That was a powerful cover. I remember that cover.
I got chills now just
I know,
thinking
me
about
too.
it.
And it's a horrific topic, but at the same time, you're not wrong.
We all
was
have-
never discussed. It wasn't, and now it is. But you had to have somebody be the catalyst too. And Central Florida, who would ever think that?
You know how many task force were developed after that story run? I actually had a judge in Miami send me a letter thanking me for publishing that. And I can tell you, our sales team, when that cover came out and they saw it, they were like, we're done. This is not what we're about. This is just not the way. And sure enough, it exploded. Lake County Sheriff's Office put together a task force. I don't want to say it was specifically because of that, but it definitely happened right after that.
But you did identify a lot of the stuff. Like we didn't. How many times do you drive past the little hub area because there's so many major highways that intersect here in Lake and Sumter counties between the Turnpike and the I-75?
Yes.
And we drive past those every day, but do we really know what's going on in there? Because we don't drive trucks. We don't go in there. We don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
we
scary.
don't. We
And
don't get in that area. So when you bring light to that, it's like, wow.
Well, I also think, and I stand by this now, in the words of my great friend Mike Carter, who has taught me so much over the last few years, he always says, Shayna, you can't just tell people things.
Right,
you have to show them.
Absolutely.
And until they see it, it needed to be covered.
Yes.
It needed to be covered.
And we've done a couple, follow-ups to that, but thank goodness now human trafficking, the awareness, I always say you shine the light on something and that's when action happens. People really pay attention to it. And luckily, it's still an issue throughout the whole world.
It is.
But people are aware of it and they can identify it, they look for it. So that is one that I will always say would probably be my very favorite. Just because of the impact that it had on it. And that was a catalyst to us covering more important topics, not just the fluff, not just the, hey, everybody's perfect and happy. We've covered important topics like the water issue here in Lake and Sumter counties. We've talked about homelessness. We've talked about drug abuse. I mean, lots of topics. Our most recent one was the unprepared or how we're unprepared for the growth that's coming here to Lake and Sumter County and what is being done. So yeah, I mean, that catapulted my passion for what our publication and what our company's supposed to do. So that's the winner.
I don't think you realize, Shayna and I are both sitting here listening to you talk, and we've talked about this before, how impactful you really are and what kind of a role model you are to us because, I mean, you're friends with us. We love you. But at the same time, the fact that you stepped out and did something like this, and I mean, it was a risk that you took a chance. You started a magazine. You've got your family involved. That you're sometimes behind the scenes, but more people pay attention to you than what you think.
I don't like the
I know you don't like
front and center stage.
I know you don't like that.
That's what Doug's for.
I know you don't like that, but I
yeah.
think you need to understand that too, that you are a powerful female here in Lake County and in the world, and we love that you are, and we love that you're our friend. And
you're open. It's so cool because that is part of the friendship, of course, but because of what you do, it's fun to be able to send you a text, this would be a great idea. And hear your thoughts on things. And then you get excited about something. And we share that. And I love that.
And my brain can't keep up with the text sometimes, so I have to read them 5 times and read them later. That's why I respond once and go, okay, that's a good idea. But we need more. We need more strong females that show us and show the younger generations that we can do whatever we want to do.
Well, hey, I can tell you one thing that
definitely
highlighted the fact that women are going to rule the world is our Business Women of Style issue that comes out because, when we first started that, it was the Business Men of Style.
Yep.
And that was very prominent. And maybe 20 pages of that is where we started. And then the women were like, hey, I want to do that. So we started a Business Women of Style. And now we have 50, 55 pages and all extraordinary women. So
yeah,
hey,
I think
women rule the world.
I think we
Sorry,
love
men.
it.
I think we've surpassed the number of women Business Women of Style sometimes than the men. I mean,
Oh no, it doesn't.
They
It
have
doesn't
a
even come close.
Yeah,
that's what I've written my publisher's letter about that a couple of times. Is men stand up? Women are taking over. So you want to play along, you better jump on board. So
we are. Speaking of that, you got to tell us about your next endeavor that you're doing while you're doing Style Magazine. You have to tell us about that.
Well, it kind of just happened overnight, but anybody that has a business or runs a business, they always have something else. Well, I wish I would have done that one day, or think of something else, another career that they may have liked. And getting up there in age, I thought, okay, well, my time is running out. If I want to do something different, Style's doing well. We got a great team here, and it's running on its. No, I don't want to say it's on its own.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Yes. It still needs me, but I had some time on my hands, and I've always loved real estate. And my agent, Lena Williams, before I got my license, she could attest to the fact that I was very passionate about going through the homes when we would look through homes and stuff like that. So she always said, you would be really good at real estate. And so one day I just woke up and said, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go get my license, and bought the course and studied and did it in the mornings, did it at night, did it on the weekends, and got my license and became an active agent with Morris Realty and Investments. And for the past 7 months, I have learned a lot. There's a lot that I didn't expect to learn. Situations that arise that I never would have thought of, but it's challenging and I love it. And so I get to put the 25 years of sales and marketing and everything that I have had here at Akers and from the inception of my career basically into that, and have done very well. And
I call those Phineas moments. I have them quite often.
Yes, she does.
Phineas and Ferb, the cartoon, and every single cartoon, my kids used to watch it. He was like, Ferb, I know what we're going to do today. And he came up with some grandiose idea and put it into place. But, those are great moments to have, because just because we're getting to certain ages or we decide we're going to do this doesn't mean we can't change it up or add to it.
Well, you got to challenge yourself. You got to keep yourself sharp.
And
And
it's
that's
not a
passion.
plan B. It's continuing education and learning.
It's a
'cause
continuing plan
I love
A.
to learn.
Yes.
And I love to keep moving. So if we're doing that and challenging ourselves, then we can do anything. I love it.
I can tell you that I was very, very, very adamant about the fact that I was going to pass that dang test my first time. I studied and studied and studied, and I'm not an emotional person. Like, I don't cry a lot. Very, very rarely do I ever cry. I don't get emotional like that. I came out, and my husband Doug was sitting there waiting for me to come out. He'd sat there the whole 2 hours waiting for me to come out.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Waiting to see if I passed it or not. And I was so excited when they told me that I passed it, that I came out and I was shaking, and he got out of the car and I just bawled. And I was so proud of myself. And it's just, when you do the same career for so long, yeah, you have great moments. You get awards. Styles won over 200 something awards. And I'm not discounting that, but It was all in the same industry. I hadn't been challenged like that in a long time. And the fact that I accomplished that, and I got to share it with him, and I'm going to cry now.
Well, you should be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sure not. There's a lot of information that goes into becoming licensed.
Extremely hard.
Yes.
Anybody that's an agent can tell you, if they didn't pass the test the first time, I completely understand.
Right.
I just am a psycho and pushed
You
myself.
spoke it into existence
to
too.
the
You
point.
decided that's what it was going to be.
I manifested it.
You did.
Manifest.
You really did, actually. And you also, you're brilliant. So, you are.
You just say that because you love me.
I do love you, but you really are brilliant. And I don't say things like that unless I truly mean them. I mean, unless you're going to hand me a pair of red bottom shoes under the table or something. But no, you are brilliant. And it shows in everything you do, not just here, not just in real estate, which I always thought you would be good at that too, just the way the homes I've been to that you've lived in.
Love it.
And like your recent one in that closet.
Your closet.
And your ability to put colors together. And that's the thing is you see a vision. You see a house. It could look nothing like what you want it to look like, but you could see what it could be.
The next step's remodeling business, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Oh, that would be fun.
But I think it's because my love language is giving, and I love any time that we've bought a new home, and it's been such an exciting time and everything. I love now being able to help people with that, and I feel like I'm giving to them in some way.
You are such an inspiration to other people, though. You really are.
Thank you.
We love it.
I like this podcast.
All right. Well, we wish we could talk all day, but we've got to wrap it up. We appreciate you joining us here today, Kendra. I know we drug you out of your office to come and be a part of this, but we appreciate it so much.
I appreciate what you guys have brought to the table with style and all the hype and energy that's come with the podcast, and you guys are rock stars.
We do have energy.
You do have energy, and you have charisma and passion. You can't We can't lose with those.
That's all right. Thanks, Kendra.
I love talking to Kendra.
I know, she's great.
She's not just our friend. She's an inspiration. It's really cool to see her do so well, see other females, see anyone do well. But
she's
to see
so
females
humble
do
about
well.
stuff too, and
Yes.
she doesn't realize that everything from her closet to her style to
God
her
bless America. That's
No.
I'm going to be honest. Closet envy is a real thing, and if you've never felt it before, if you saw hers,
You can't call her closet a closet. It's a boutique.
it's not just the stuff, it's the way it's set up. But that's her
what I
vision.
mean.
That's how
That's
her
her-
brain works. Like
Yep.
I have kitchen envy actually too from her kitchen, but I'm a clothes and shoes person. So no, she's amazing. Love it. Had so much fun talking to her. Maybe that should be part of it. Maybe I will have a New Year's resolution. Maybe I'll be more like Kendra.
I like that.
I could be more appropriate like Kendra.
No,
Yes, I could.
no, you can't.
Yes, I could.
You don't know how to be anybody but Shayna. We already talked
I
about
could
this.
try.
No, you're just Shayna. That's
I am.
fine.
I am who I am.
Just like I'm just Lori. It's fine.
You're very organized. You're very, very
Heidi.
oh, tidy's not the word for it. So just to give you a heads up, one of my New Year's resolutions are New Year, New You.
Yes.
Is not everything has to be cleaned with bleach at the office, because when you put bleach in a spray bottle with water and Shayna goes to try to clean,
Right.
and she's
on the
weird.
outside.
Oh, I know, but it was in a spray bottle that doesn't like
But it says
direct.
bleach
It
on
like
it.
mist everywhere, and I look down at my beautiful black sweater, and it's turning brown, and I'm like,
Use the. I didn't know that you were going to use the bleach.
made me tweak a little bit
Never
until I calmed down and realized I had a black paint pen on my desk for some reason, and we fixed it.
But I did write bleach on the outside of the bottle.
God, yeah. I mean, seriously, the clean.
just didn't
You
like
are
it.
so tidy. It's just amazing. I do aspire to be that every year. It just never happens.
See, that's why I don't make New Year's resolutions, because if I do, I don't want to let myself down. But New Year, New You.
I let myself down, and then I just find something else. I'm like, okay, maybe I just wasn't meant to put my laundry away.
No,
After
not
I fold
everybody
it.
was, and I get that. But that's okay. I don't mind. I like it. Everybody makes fun of me that I am like OCD about stuff, but I say it keeps me from going crazy in the morning when I leave the house, where everybody's running around going, where's my keys? Where's my shoes? Where's this? What did I do with that? If everything goes in its place, then it just makes my life easier. Because then
I do hang my
know
keys
where
up
the keys
every.
are.
My keys are always in the right
I know where
place.
my
That's the one
bag
thing I
is.
do.
I know if I have a
Love it.
routine, and then I don't have to worry about everybody coming in and just slinging stuff everywhere. I don't try to make other people do what I want them to do as far as that. I just do it myself. Like I put bleach in a spray bottle.
my God, I
in the
was like-
office.
What is? Yeah,
I put it in black Sharpie on that spray bottle.
you did. I know.
and you did.
I'm
pay
just
attention or
thinking
read it.
that we can use other things to clean the counters with too.
No, nothing cleans like bleach.
Oh my God, it stinks horrifically.
Nothing
Like
cleans like-
it's an odor you like no other. It's almost like
Not everybody is as clean as we are. So I don't know what's happened on those counters, or if somebody's scratched their rear end and then touched the counter with it. I don't know what's
And,
happened.
okay,
So I
the
need
next time
bleach to
someone
kill
says
the
that
butt
I'm not
germs
the
that are on the
appropriate
counter.
friend in the duo, I'm gonna need them to
because
reflect to
sometimes-
this.
Sometimes I have to break it down so people understand why I'm clean. But that's why I have my own little refrige and my own little microwave at the office.
That's also why you hung signs in every bathroom
yes.
in the office that say, "Don't forget to courtesy flush with a person on the toilet."
Yes, I did. Because people are
Sure did.
nasty.
Oh no, I know.
And if I use the kitchen at work, I'd probably get some horrible.
Oh, you
stomach
would
bug.
not, for the love of
I'm
God.
not using that kid. I'm not using that thing that y'all all use.
I
Maybe
use it,
y'all
and I'm
are all
perfectly
immune to
fine.
it because you eat a ton of germs every day. I can't do it.
Well, you do have to be exposed to some germs, Lori. Otherwise,
I
you
am.
catch everything.
I am.
No, you're not. You Clorox everything.
I do Clorox everything.
Everything. Oh my God. No. Okay, I am gonna try really hard to be tidier. I'm gonna do that. That's New Year. Nope. I really am. I am.
Okay, I'll help you with it, but I'm not going to gripe at you because then
Please
it'll,
don't gripe at me.
It'll
'Cause
just
I'm gonna
make
tell
us
you the
argue.
first time you gripe at me, then I'll decide not to do it anymore. I can loathe that.
Which
But
I
be
know.
Supportive. Say positive things like,
I do.
"Good job, Shayna. Good job." Not, "Oh my God, you didn't do this."
I know. I know that.
You know that. You do know that. So positive reinforcement is key.
Because if
A treasure box with prizes inside of it would be even better.
I don't say anything, that's me not acknowledging the chaos. When I go silent,
You
that
walk
means
through
I'm
my office
processing.
and don't make eye contact, and you're like, I can't look.
That means I'm processing, and it's I gotta say something nice, or I'm not saying anything at all.
I love that.